with civilians fighting for power and not soldiers. And it struck fear across the region. So yes, he did start that fire. I agree with you.
Okay, so, I would like to thank Mr. Griffiths for spending time to answer your questions. I understand the Special Representative of the UN Secretary General on sexual violence in conflict is about to make a statement. Ambassador Margot Wallström, I invite you to the podium.
Thank you very much. Since 2 years back, I'm the Special Representative of the UN on conflict-related sexual violence. And that means, of course, that I have made the fight against impunity and amnesty for this type of crimes one of my priorities, as well as making sure that we break the silence about this historical crime. We are also looking for justice for survivors. So, of course, I applaud the conviction of Charles Taylor. It has also been extremely important from the very beginning to make sure that we fight the notion that this is a lesser crime. And I think that is also why today's judgment was very important. It recognized sexual violence as a crime against humanity. I'm very pleased with the judgment because it demonstrates that no leader, even if he's a former president, is above the law, and no woman, no survivor is below it. The indictments, I must say, offers gruesome reading, but it is actually all too common. Innocent civilians, mostly women and girls, have become a majority of the victims of this kind of crimes. I actually, with my team, visited Sierra Leone at the end of last year. And if you need some evidence about what has happened, go there. You will see and you will hear about the long-term effects of rape and other forms of sexual violence carried out. And of course, the first person we met was a man with 2 artificial arms, both of his arms chopped off during the war. And I also met with a young woman who had to listen to her mother choosing one of her young girls to offer to the soldiers. And she had become one of these bushwives living as a sex slave for many years. I think that this is indeed a very, very important judgment and conviction today. I think it offers hope to all of those who struggle with the long-term effects of rape being used as a weapon or a tactic of war. And it sends a very strong signal to leaders, commanders, and to all the both military and civilian systems around the world that we will actually come after the perpetrators and also those responsible and those accepting and planning these kind of crimes. I also want to say that I do recall, after having listened to the defense, I do recall an international tribunal on the former Yugoslavia, where actually what happened in that tribunal changed the international law and the understanding of this as a crime against humanity. So it is not only Africans to be perfectly correct here, and I think this is also important. We have to continue to fight for giving justice to the victims, because this is what is missing. And these young girls that I met in Sierra Leone, They even showed me their scars and what has been done to them, and they pleaded to the international community also to help and assist in making sure that there are reparations paid and that they do have access to justice. And I think to them, it is really about the criminal act of using sexual violence in a situation of war and conflict that is important. And the importance is to find those that are responsible and keep them responsible and accountable for what they have done. So from that point of view, I am very pleased with what has happened here today. I am, of course, willing to answer to any questions you might have. I have been to previous trials as well, and I will continue to participate to make sure that this is no longer surrounded by silence or shame or the feeling of this being inevitable as a consequence of war and conflict. Thank you for listening.
Any questions? Any questions from Freetown? Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, everyone. Yes, Peter.
Yes. It's on. Okay. Yeah, Paul Bangura from Freetown, working for Conscience International. Yes, we agree that the issue of rape has to perpetrators has to be brought to book. But then my question is, what about the rape that took place in Iraq, in Afghanistan, probably in Libya? Who is held responsible for those rape? If now we are talking about Sierra Leone and other African countries.
We are. In the annual report, we do check actually the situation, monitor and report on the situation everywhere in the world. So we have reported on Afghanistan, on Libya, on Egypt, on Syria, Sri Lanka, everywhere in the world where this is used as a way to punish your political opponents or used in a war or a conflict. We will continue to report on it and follow up and make sure that the perpetrators are found and punished.
Yes.
Yeah, one more question from Freetown. I am Patrick Toka, Director of CEDA. You spoke about children you met in Sierra Leone, and I want to know what you've done particularly with regards to reparation for those children, those girls in particular. What have you done?